Hello, everybody. I have a wonderful thing called food poisoning right now, so I can't go outside or to the gym out of great fear that a peanut butter mudslide will pour out of one of my pant legs or possibly both of them. So instead of doing that today, I've decided let's talk about gear. I have a bunch of gear, and we're going to start with the strings and the pick, the most important beginnings of the gear, and my cats. I have cats. Okay, I have cats, and I have gear, which is cool. Okay. And we're going to talk about a bunch of it because why the heck not, right? What else are we going to do? So I use Ernie Ball Slinkies, the Burleys, 11 to 52. Absolutely badass, going for 935 yen a pack in Tokyo, which is about 10 bucks Canadian, around there. And I'm using Jim Dunlop 0.46 millimeter nylon picks. So really big ass strings, really small pick. It bends like that. Isn't that crazy? You can go like this into the crowd and blow them into people. Here I have a Gibson Les Paul. It's a traditional. It's a 2012. It's a burst. That's pretty. Look at that. Everything's stock. It's got a toggle switch. The burst means that it's like a flame burst. It's supposed to look like a flame, and it kind of flames when you move it around. Flames on, flames off. I got another guitar over there, another Les Paul. It's got one pickup. It's a black guitar. There's a bass. There's this like Yamaha thing that's like a ripoff of a Charvel, which is cool. Floyd Rose setup. Haven't really done anything to it. But yeah, so back to this. All stock. Expensive. Awesome. Big tall frets. It's got the nubs. For some reason, you got to pay an extra $1,000 to get the nubs on there. I like the nubs, the little plastic nubs. I don't know if it truly adds comfort or not, because if you properly do your frets, you won't have anything poking out at you. But I really like these. I really like big frets. I like big strings. Look at this. Look at this. It's pretty rad. You know, look at the action. Set kind of high. Not quite nosebleed section, but still pretty high. But you can see my finger never touches the fretboard, which I think is an important thing. The frets are high enough so that my finger will never touch the fretboard. That's what I want. So let's get into this, the acoustic, the $50 garbage acoustic guitar. Me and my other cat, Basil. This is a chibi from my first tour of Japan 7 or 8 years ago. You cannot get these anymore. I think this is the only one left. Here we got this terrible pickup that's falling out. Look at that. Fell in there. It's gone forever now. I have two of them usually hooked into this. It's 50 bucks. I've made thousands of dollars with this crappy guitar, and I love it oh so much. There's no name on the headstock because no one wants to take responsibility for making this guitar. I have this tuner. I don't know who makes that. Little clip-on tuner. Just leave it on there. Pedals. I got all this stuff. To be completely honest, I only use these, and I step on this for like 4 bars of a solo in No Faith, and I sometimes use it for Mountain Man if I'm near my microphone. I step on this sometimes if I keep it close enough to the overdrive, right? So I'll go like this, and I'll stomp down on both these at the same time to be able to hit both of them at the same time, because I want the delay and the overdrive on at the same time. I don't use one of those fancy switching things because I find those are just noisy and it's a lot more crap to take around. If I really had to do a gig and I didn't want to take a lot of stuff, I would just take this. This is all I really need, the tuner and the overdrive. And if I couldn't take this and I only had one thing that I could possibly use, I would use this and a clip-on tuner. And I'm good. As long as I got a Les Paul, a Marshall or Marshall Lee sounding amp, and an overdrive, I'm pretty sure I can do it. If I don't have anything at all, if I don't have any pedals at all, just an awesome Marshall, I could do it. So what I would do is I would switch this. This would be for this. I would set this to like a rhythmic chunky thing, and I would set the amp so that it would sound like a nice crunch with this, and I'd flood it with treble, and then just to get it sounding nice. And then this would be my boost. So then I would switch to this, and this would be cranked on 10, and I would bring the tone down a little bit to compensate for the amount of treble cranked up on this to make it sound good. And that's how I would get by having no pedals at all, which I've done a million times, I'm sure. So back to this. Bad Horsey 2, Morley Wah. It's the Steve Vai signature. I don't know if it has it on the back. Okay, it used to say Steve Vai on the back there. It's held together with tape. It has seen a lot of shows. I've had this for 15 years. Must be like 15 fucking years by now or something. And she's still going strong. Never repaired. Still works. It's got like a laser in it. It's an optical wah, so it's like it uses a laser and a shutter instead of a pot, right? This is a pot. Most wah pedals work on like a pot, right? So this would be the bassy sound, and this would be the most trebly sound. And as you move this up and down, it goes wah, 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 wah. So then you could do it. You could actually make a wah sound just by using your volume or tone knob, and that will give you the thing. That's the old school way of doing it. Talk box. Seen this a million times. Use this for intros sometimes. Kind of heavy. Don't really like taking it on tour because it's really heavy. It's a big speaker, a driver for those technical people. And you click on it, it goes on. The speaker comes here. There's a enema tube that you sing into, and you put it in your mouth after you stick it in your butt. And you go ass to mouth with this thing, and sound comes out of the tube. And from that tube, it goes into your mouth. From out of your mouth now becomes the speaker. As you move your mouth, wah, 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 it can make cool sounds. And that is the talk box. You can make it sound like your guitar is talking. Big muff. You can tell by the amount of dust and hair on this. Kitty hair. Look at all that. Yeah, look at that. That's disgusting. You can tell I don't really use that often. I sometimes use it in Vietnam just because it has an incredible amount of gain, and if I have to play through a PA and like don't even have an amp, then I will use this, and it will sound awful, but it will sound better than if I used something that didn't have distortion at all. Compressor. I also rarely use this. It's nice for when you bring down the volume on your guitar, and you can just clean it up a little. So clean up your sound, right? So bring down your volume as much as you can, and then you click on this to bring the volume back up, but it's still clean. I don't know exactly how that works, but it does. So I would bring the sustain, which is like the distortion, all the way down. I would bring this up to unity, and that would be that. For wireless stuff, I use this. This is a Shure wireless guitar system that was given to me by Bernie in Pattaya at Bernie's before it went out of business. Bernie's is a staple of the Pattaya music scene. This part goes onto your belt, plugs into your guitar. This part goes into your amp. You plug all that stuff in. It has all this stuff on the back. I don't know what it means. Maybe you do. Maybe you should make a video instead of me. And that is that for that. The wireless in-ear monitor system is the X5. This is all there is to it. You plug headphones into that. You turn it on. Select a channel. You make sure it's the same channel as this. This goes into the board. This goes into your ears or up your ass, whatever you want to put that. And it is awesome. And then you can hear yourself when you're really loud with all this other stuff. So that's pretty much my gear. Let's look at some other stuff. Let's look at this microphone that I never use. It's a Sennheiser. It's covered in cat hair. It's all right. There's an Audio-Technica thing that came with my Scarlett thing. I also don't use this. It's also covered in cat hair. That's awesome. Sweet. I got a fancy microphone given to me by Koei Togo. It's in there. It's not covered in cat hair because it's in there. So let's open it. Let's see what this even looks like. I haven't looked at this in quite some time. I did all of the vocals for our album with this microphone, this thing. It sounds pretty awesome. It sounds better than these two things, for darn sure. I have cables. Cables are neat. I have an original tube screamer, which is different from that tube screamer. This one is an original 1983. You know that from the last two digits on there. Made in Japan, 1983. Pretty damn sweet. Japan, right? Sweet. And this one is not. And this one is a reissue. And it was signed. There it is. And it is signed by my good friend, Roman Anton, right there. I'm going to have to get him to freshen that one up a little bit. This one and this one are slightly different, but not really. Like you put it underneath a magnifying glass, might be a little different. That's about it. All right. So that's my gear. I hope you enjoyed that video. Have a nice day.